One, two, 1, 2. Is this thing on? Can you hear me? Are you out there? How we doing today? All right, so focus, people. Let's stay focused. Some of you probably want to talk about sports and how the Raptors are doing. Some of you want to talk about other issues. But I particularly want to focus on, the movement that is at hand. Hopefully you can hear me okay. So there was a man shot in, I believe, Wisconsin. Hold on, let me look at the video again. He was shot in, yes, Wisconsin. Shout out to the people in Wisconsin. And the video shows him. Turn the music down. Okay, so the video shows, the tail end of the video. It shows him walking away from the police around to his car. The police, 3 or 4 cops already have guns drawn on him. And there's another crowd of people standing back, and they're actually talking to the cops and things that the cops like, don't shoot him. And the man walks around his car, opens the door to his car. They follow him around the car. And then when he goes into the car, they, go ahead and murder him. Now, somebody out there is going to say, well, he should have complied with the police. Okay, fine. But we've had people who died complying with the police. They did everything the cops said, and the cops still murdered them. Some of you are going to say, well, he should have never reached into the car. He could have been going for a weapon. Or he had a weapon. Well, they say he was unarmed. He could have been going for his weapon. Well, here's the thing about that. If he's standing in front of you, he's already standing in front of you having a whole conversation, and you think he's a danger to you, and you're warning him, don't go out around to the car, and you follow him around the whole car, you had ample chance, there's 5 of you, ample chance to pull out your taser and just rack him right there. That's what the taser was implemented for, so you don't have to shoot and kill people. So you can't tell me 5 tasers couldn't take that man down. And the cop did the same thing that the George Floyd cop did. He shot him without an expression. George Floyd's killer had no expression on his face. I mean, he actually knew George Floyd. They worked at the same place. This guy was shot with no expression. They just opened fire on him. Listen, I am not a Black Lives Matter. I don't go and push Black Lives Matter because some of Black Lives Matter is not for Black people. It's actually for political reasons. And the money for Black Lives Matter is not going to poor Black people and or victims. I don't walk around Black Lives Matter. But I do understand Black Lives Matter as a Black man. And for you people who say all lives matter, you're missing the whole point. Yes, everybody matters to somebody. But the problem is, according to the police, Black people don't seem to matter. Now, when you see an incident like this, they could have tackled this guy. You are police officers. You are trained to go into a field of battle. You know what I'm saying? If you're just a fat donut eating cop who doesn't know how to handle himself in a 1v1 or a 5v1, If you can't do that, then you don't belong on the force. You have, how many weapons do you have at your disposal as one cop? You have your service revolver. You have mace. You have a taser. You have a billy club. I mean, you have all of these weapons to someone who's unarmed, and there's like 5 of you around. Plus, you have your vehicle. You have dogs. You have a cadre of weapons against somebody who has none, and you can't take down a man without murdering him. This is just unfathomable. And this is why, the whole Black Lives Matter, like, we matter, like, you don't do this to other people. And for those goofies talking about there isn't, racial disparity, with the police department, like when Eric Garner died, that black police chief saying that this isn't true, the numbers just don't lie. The numbers don't lie. They just don't. The numbers clearly show every year that black people on an equal playing field are being killed 3 or 4 times more than a white person. Somebody bring up the numbers where there were 400 whites killed this year, and there were 280 or 90 or whatever blacks killed this year. So whites are being killed more than black. There are 240 million white people just on this part of the planet, just in America. There are 40 million blacks. So the numbers just don't add up. So when you get to spewing those numbers, and start looking it up on the, federal, whatever you're going to do, just keep it in mind that you guys outnumber us, I don't know, what is it, 6, 7 to 1? Easily. So there are more black people being killed, harassed, put in jail. There are more black people going to jail for more time. You may have more white people going in and out of jail, but they're for a lot lesser sentences. There are more black people put in jail and held there longer for nonviolent crimes. And those are just the facts. So cut it out with there's no racial disparity when we can talk about the times that black people have just been wiped off the map, like Rosewood or like the Move people. They literally dropped bombs on the Move. When have black people done this to white people? We haven't. We haven't. And then to say that there's no racial disparity, what other race have you done this to? At least within the last 100 years. We know you wiped out the Indians. We got that. We understand that. What other race have you done this to? You haven't kept any other race in slavery. And some of you like to bring in indentured servitude. That's different than slavery. Indentured servitude, you can pay your way out. Slavery, you made no money. You were a slave. You made no money. You had to run to get away from it or die. You didn't pay your way out of slavery. All right, and we know white people weren't the only one that held black people in slavery. We know Indians had black slaves too. But we know the whole deal started with white people. It actually started with in Africa, blacks had other black slaves. I think they still do. So you have people who were sold into slavery by white people. And this is how America was built up so quickly. They had free labor. Anytime you have free labor and you're not doing the actual work, well, of course you're going to build up an empire. So let's just cut the madness with there is no racial disparity. There is. Anytime you can casually shoot a man down like he does not matter, like he doesn't have kids, like he doesn't have a family, then that person to you does not matter. You can just easily kill this person. That's what this officer did. Officers, with 2 of them, they just easily killed him. Listen, I hope they die in a fire. I have no love for those officers. I don't feel sorry for them. I don't care about their job being hard. You took a life casually. Now, if this man had a revolver and he was firing back at you, absolutely. If your life or his, dust them off. The revolver only supposed to be used in case your life was in danger. If somebody is walking and or running and or driving away from you, your life is not in danger. Especially if they're not walking and or running or driving towards someone to do them harm, nobody else's life is in danger. You just shot another man a couple days ago too. A bunch of officers just executed him. Oh, he had a knife. So what? What happened to the taser? Why are we not using the tasers? You're so quick to just pull out your gun and just kill. I hope all of those officers die in a fire. I have no love for them. I don't care what their family thinks. I don't care what anybody else thinks. Die. You like to kill people? Let's see how you feel when it happens to you. Die. We're tired of praying. We're tired of marching. We did everything. We went to the legislature. Die. There's nothing else. Die in the damn fire. Die. We stood up for equality, and then you hung more black men after it. Look, people, we're not going to get equality. I don't care who you put into the White House. It's not going to happen. When Obama went in the White House, there were more killings. They're going to keep hanging. They're going to keep doing what they're doing. It's just not going to happen. There's nothing we can do on this side of peace that's going to help us, and we're sorely outnumbered. Black people are sorely outnumbered. Even with the help that we get, we're still sorely outnumbered because we don't have a military. We do not have a military. And the U.S. military is the biggest military that there is, as far as I know. The only thing that blacks can do, which is never going to happen, is move out of this country. Even if we had a place to go, and they wanted us, and we could live a stable life, and they wanted us to live there, the whites would not let us go. Because this world is, this part of the planet is still ran by black slaves. It's still dependent on black slaves. It's called the prison system. That's just the facts. That's just the facts. There's no way they're going to let all those people. Look what happened when they started letting all those people out of prison. What did the New York police go do? They started rounding up people and putting them right back in prison. It's all about the prison system. Just for standing too close to each other, they started arresting men, women, children, anybody, put them back because we are still slaves. And for those of you people who think that we're not still slaves, some people are like, well, I'm successful. I'm not a slave. Regardless of how many of you people try to separate yourself from blacks and being African and all that other stuff, you're not separating yourself. You are still part of the collective. I don't care if you go get a white woman, a white man, and have a whole clan with them. You're still a black person, which means you're part of us, we. And as far as us is concerned, we are still slaves on a whole. The majority of us are not even close to the 1 or the 10% as far as financially. Yeah, you got some billionaires out there, a few of them. You got some rich, you got some wealthy, you got, ballers and all that stuff. But don't think for a minute that basketball players aren't, being paid to be high-class slaves. Basketball players, football players, all of that. You're like, oh, they're just playing a sport. No, they're not. No, they're not. They are slaves too, and they know it because their owners often call them names, but they just do it on the slide. Basketball, football, we see it all the time. As long as they're making their money, it's whatever, but they still consider them the same thing. It is what it is. And those people are the people who the police protect. They protect them. There's no way we're going to stop this. We've been cursed for 400 years. Our 400 years is over, actually. So I'm expecting God to fall out of the sky and do something. I'm expecting a nuclear war to happen, truth be known, because God said he's not going to destroy the world by water again. He's going to do it by fire. So most likely it's going to be a nuclear war. He said that there's going to be flesh melting off the bones. We saw Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So we already know it's highly possible for, and the whole world pretty much has nukes, so it's just not going to happen. They're just going to keep killing us because we're not in control. We know that there is a race of people who are in control. They control the banks. They control the armies. They control the wars. Those are the same people that control corporate interests. And they control the police. The police is not here for us. They're not here for us. There's no way that we are an equal citizen. We're not. We're not even written in the Constitution as an equal citizen. We're not. We are known as property. And this is why they can just do what they want to us. I'm sick of it.